Gibraltar has been accepted as the 49th member of Rugby Europe after a 15-year campaign, allowing its teams to play official test matches and access funding and developmental support. The decision is hailed as a landmark moment that will boost domestic rugby and create clear pathways for young players. And it just so happens we have someone who knows a thing or six about rugby on the rock, as well as following Leinster and Ireland. Rich, you've been close to this story for a long time. What's the journey been like?
Well, first I'll put my cap on first. There
Oh,
you
there
go.
you go.
There you go. Now you know where I come
Change
from.
hats. Yep.
I've changed hats, yeah. Um, as
Once it's not a Liverpool hat, I'm okay.
I've got the Liverpool kit as well, if you want. Do you want to see it there?
No. You're all right. You're all right. Not today.
Um, yeah, as a proud Gibraltarian that I am, obviously it's been a long journey because it's been plagued with sadly, but these things happen, plagued with political interference and not allowing uh, us over the past 15 years to join Rugby Europe. In fact, for a very long period of time, we weren't even allowed to apply. Um, the, the irony is there's a dual irony here. Firstly, it's that during the time that we weren't allowed to apply, it was because we weren't a nation state recognized by the United Nations, which we are not. But then again, neither is England,
I was just about to say, or Wales, or any of them. Yeah,
Wales,
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
Scotland.
yeah.
And whilst Ireland would be able to play, you wouldn't be able to play with any players from Northern
Mm,
Ireland. So a certain Mr. Best wouldn't have been able to captain Ireland. You with me?
yeah,
That's the first irony. So, if any of those teams had to reapply to join Rugby Europe or indeed World Rugby, they wouldn't be able to even apply. So, yeah, the other irony is that there are numerous um, territories, and we are our political description is that we are a UK overseas territory, um, which pretty much, I mean, funnily enough, we have greater independence than Wales do or Scotland do. We have our own tax system, but basically the UK is only responsible for defence. Everything else we're responsible for, including international relations. Um, so whilst we are pretty much a country in our own right, um, and far more independent and autonomous than other territories such as Hong Kong, who are simply a special administered region of the People's Republic of China, but they are members of World Rugby. They are going to compete in the World Cup. You have Bermuda, who is exactly the same as us, a UK overseas territory. You have Barbados.
yeah. And sure, Hong Kong is rugby because they were previously
Correct.
the UK.
Yes.
Yeah, the
So
exact same, pretty much the
that's
same. Yeah.
the second irony. The second irony is that there were people or there were territories outside the rugby family, the official rugby family, and within the rugby family who were exactly the same.
Yeah.
So how can you discriminate against one and not the other? So
Mhm.
yeah, it's been a very tortuous journey. It's not over yet, clearly, because Spain is now appealing against Rugby Europe for allowing us to join, even though this was a democratic uh, process. It's a vote at the end of the day. We got the majority that we required. But this has entailed taking Rugby Europe to court twice. That's us. Spain has taken them to court once as well. Um, and, it's a sad state of affairs where politics is used to um, attack people who just want to play rugby. you know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, Gibraltar isn't going to set the world alight, the rugby world alight. Although we'll probably do an awful lot better than our football brothers, because it, contrary to football, rugby is tiered, so we wouldn't meet. We wouldn't play world. We wouldn't play the All Blacks. We wouldn't play
No.
Ireland. We wouldn't, never. So it would take. We'd play countries that are of a similar standard, but we do very well. I mean, we've beaten the likes of Sweden, Finland, Denmark. In fact, we're playing Finland again on the 10th of January, which will be the first match that we play whilst being members of Rugby Europe. And we've got an
So
agreement.
so be actually awarding test caps to the players.
Yeah, that will be the first. Well, it's a friendly.
Okay.
So yeah, that will be the first occasion where we play as members of Rugby Europe. We've actually got an agreement with Finland where we exchange coaches. We play them. Is it 3 or 4 times a year? There, home and away. Because the problem that we've had, of course, is finding opponents because every country has got its own um, program of friendlies
Mhm.
and test matches and what have you, and then tournaments that they have to go through on an annual basis. So finding a window to be able to play against some of these sides is very difficult. But now that we're in, now it becomes official. So now we would enter the windows, the friendly international windows that the remainder of the countries play. So we will hopefully be playing the likes of Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, and
Absolutely. The Rugby Europe has a divisional structure
right.
for. So will Gibraltar eventually join that at the bottom?
We'd be at the bottom, yes.
That's what it is when you're so eventually. So is it this next year you'll be playing in that, or is it or
No, it's I think at the moment for the first year we have to. It's like a probationary period.
yeah,
Where you have to fulfill.
associate member status
Yeah,
kind of
you're
thing?
associate member status. So you have all the a load of the benefits, but also some of the responsibilities.
Right.
So we need to prove. I mean, there's a set of criteria that you have to prove before you can even apply, which obviously
Hmm.
we met to a very high standard. In fact, when they came to assess our application. So we met that with flying colors. Now there is another set of criteria that we have to meet, which we already meet, but so it's but
And then the next stage would be
then
actual world rugby, world rugby status
yeah,
and
basically
rankings.
you go through it. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty lengthy process because you end up you do 2 years an associate
Hmm.
member of Rugby Europe, then you become a member of Rugby Europe in full right, and then the process to apply for World Rugby recognition starts. I mean, all things being equal, you're looking at about 5 to 6 years, all told. So it's quite a journey
Yeah.
that we need to.
But in the meantime, like you say, you'll be getting matches. They'll be going out. They'll be representing, pulling on the jerseys, earning test caps.
Yeah,
But the funding as well as whether it be released funding, they
it,
so there's ways to help them to that stage.
and that's the main thing. It's about giving the kids telling the kids, look, one day you're going to be wearing that shirt, you're going to be representing Gibraltar, uh, you know, and it gives them a clear pathway where they can eventually reach the pinnacle of their individual careers. And our biggest growth, apart from women's rugby, because we also have a women's rugby team, is the kids. We've got in the region of about 200 kids turning up every Saturday morning. Which I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but for Gibraltar standards, that's an awful lot.
Yeah.
Especially when we have, I think it's 100 and something odd registered players, which for a small place like Gib is huge.
Yeah.
So I mean, I suppose the real sad thing is that about about 6, 7 years ago, we had a bit of a golden generation. And of course, now they've all finished their playing careers, but they could have given a few teams a bit of a scare. So now
Absolutely.
we're pretty much in a rebuilding stage. But yeah, we're doing quite well.
Yeah.
Doing for all of this needs to be put in.
Relative. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. But no, it's exciting because I mean, for me, this has always been organization. I mean, it's called World Rugby or even Rugby Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
the idea is that you're not just focusing on the top 10 teams. You're representing the sport around the world or around the continent. That means trying to get into every nook and cranny you can, encourage as many countries to pick up the ball and run with it as you can, and getting these countries in. I mean, I get that they have to meet certain criteria to be able to qualify, but this is a very important part of the game we're working on. It's exciting to see countries like Jib coming in, and hopefully they'll be able to go the full way and see see where they go from there.
And what you don't realize is that because obviously we are all very insular in the way that we think, and we think we are this huge thing called Rugby Europe, but I'll just leave you with a comment from the guy who came to assess us from a nation, a country, okay, and he was amazed that our government here in Gibraltar provided the playing fields at no cost to the Gibraltar Rugby Football Union. He says, we haven't got that back home. We have to pay for absolutely everything. We have to pay for the allocation. We have to pay for the dressing rooms. We have to pay for everything. And you've got it for free. His mind was blown. He couldn't. So we're actually in a far better situation, at our level than many countries across.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, as our little slogan says, the future's bright, the future's red and white, which is
There you go.
which are the colors of our flag.
Brilliant stuff. Oh, that sounds great. Now, listen, we're gonna have to. I mean, We'll be back on later in the season, obviously for Leinster and Ireland matches. I'll have to check back in and see how Gibber doing. But that's brilliant. Best of luck with all that. Listen, Rich, we're going to leave it there for now. Many thanks to you for joining us. Look to have you back on again soon. Have a great Christmas.
Thank you. You too. Merry Christmas to you, your family, and all our 3 viewers.
I think there's 4. I think there's 4 this
Oh,
week.
is it 4 this week?
Yeah. We got an extra one.
Yeah.
And as ever, but to those 4, be sure to stay tuned to Harpin on Rugby and all the socials. We'll be taking things easy for a few days for obvious reasons before producing a regular preview show ahead of the big clash with Munster. So in the meantime, have a safe, happy Christmas, everyone. Slán.
Take care.